2 might well provide an absolute classic.
Tremendous game of snooker.
Terrific champions performance. Great entertainment.
Snooker I love to watch.
Just sensational. That was fabulous. What a match it's been. Superb battle between the last two winners of the World Championship.
On day 2 of the Champion of Champions, it was a heavyweight clash between the two most recent world champions. They went blow for blow in the group final, but Zhao Xintong was victorious, beating Karen Wilson by 6 frames to 5. Very good afternoon. Welcome to Leicester. Two heavyweights of punditry with me in the studio this afternoon. Neil Foulds and Alan McManus. Good to see you, gents. Great afternoon of snooker to look forward to, as ever, in the Champion of Champions. But also, let's just reflect on what a treat we were served up yesterday. We looked at that group. We thought it would be the group of death. It was so competitive, and it lived up to its billing, Neil, didn't it?
Yeah, I was on commentary for the last part of that match. It was very enjoyable to be involved in that game. You know, the way they played, like you say, the two most recent world champions, both banging form and both going for all their shots, you know, the full repertoire of shots. And we hadn't had a close frame, and lo and behold, as usual, with snooker, last frame, all on the black, both players getting a chance to play a shot at it.
And, you know, as you say, both playing attacking snooker, when you look back at that Karen Wilson-Jack Lazowski match, which was so entertaining, Jack battling his way back into the match, again going to a final frame decider, and Karen looking in great form. We couldn't see him getting beat yesterday.
No.
So the quality was right there, wasn't it?
It was really good to see the way, you know, Jack Lazowski played early on yesterday against Kyron, the comeback, and then, of course, Kyron carried it on the good form you're talking about into the evening. And you're right, at 3-1 in front at the interval in the feature match last night, you didn't think there was a way back, but Xintong, he pulled a rabbit out the hat. He was awesome.
Well, and Xintong, of course, looked tired. He said he wasn't tired. He'd come off a long-haul flight that morning, 8 o'clock, travelled down from Manchester Airport, made short work of Mark Allen, looked ever so good in that match, and we wondered if he'd take himself off for a bit of a sleep between matches. No, in he comes, and he got off to a great start, and then he had found himself in that deciding frame. It took a lot of nerve, and it showed some character, I think, to win this one.
It was very dramatic. You thought that he was going to clear up, but the problem was always going to be that black. It had been on the cushion since this first shot of the frame. And now this, you know, I think you see that on the TV, right? And you think, OK, that looks quite easy, really. But it's anything but an easy shot. The worst case scenario, it goes right over the pocket, you know. And Zhao, I thought, come back brilliantly to win that. And Karen was absolutely fuming at his family. They wanted to win. He took it well, of course, because he's a good lad. I just feel that Zhao Xintong, he's got the game, he's got the world at his feet when it comes to this game. You know, I really believe that. He's world champion. He could be anything still.
And it sets up a fantastic semi-final on Friday night, Alan, doesn't it, against Judd Trump, the world #1.
Yeah, and they've only played twice before, and not for quite a number of years, actually, so that's set up perfectly. But he's got the Midas touch, that's what he has, Xintong, and a couple of days' sleep, he'll be good to go Friday evening. Yeah,
it was a cracking day yesterday, and we have another quality lineup for you today. Coming up later, 4-time world champion Mark Selby faces the Championship League winner Stephen Maguire. But first up, Mark Williams starts the defence of his Champion of Champions title against World Seniors winner Alfie Burden. And Mark and Alfie spoke to Rob Walker yesterday.
World final at the age of 49, oldest ranking event winner at the age of 50. This has been some year, hasn't it?
Yeah, mad. Yeah, crazy. I don't know how I'm still winning tournaments. I keep saying it, but I don't know how I wasn't great in the last China event, but in the final I played really good. And beat an informed player really, convincingly, which is more surprising. But what can I say? I've got the final of the world, and like I said this season, if I can nick a tournament, I'd be more than happy. And I've managed to nick one, and it's still early on in the season, so I'm not getting carried away. But if I don't do anything for the rest of the season, I've nicked one. That's all I wanted to do. If I can nick one, brilliant, and I've done it. So. Free rolling, I suppose. I've been free rolling for probably 10 years, really, haven't I? I shouldn't be around still playing at the sort of the level I am currently playing at, But I am, so what can I do? Just enjoy the ride.
I'm the type of player, I've never been concerned about who I play whenever I go on a snooker table, I don't feel inferior to anyone. I feel I can win. You know, I'm probably not as sharp as I would like to be because I'm not competing regularly on the tour. But, you know, I'm here to win. I'm not here to just take part. When I play snooker, I play to win, and that'll be no different tomorrow.
Bearing in mind you're absolutely certain your eyesight is getting worse, how are you able to still perform at that level, knowing that the sight is deteriorating?
I don't know. It's cost me frames, because if there's something really close, and I try to look to see if it goes, and I think it doesn't go. I've done it against Daniel Wells in the semis with a couple of reds in the middle pocket where I'm looking for ages. I've played safe, and he's come round after and he's gone, that flies in, and I'm like, I thought they might do, but I just cannot see if they're close. I can't see if they go, and there's nothing wrong. I can't help it. It's not going to get any better, but I can't tell if balls go or not anymore. It's just, you know, sometimes I convince myself they do go, and I go for them and they don't go. It's just one of them in practice, you know. 9 times out of 10 I ask Jackson when I'm in a club, very rare, does that go? And I play safe, and every time after he goes, yeah, that flies in. And I'm turning him down, and it's definitely costing me frames, because balls I'm turning down can be straight sitters. But how can I go for it if I don't think it passes the other red, you know? So I turn him down, and it's definitely cost me frames in the last 12 months, no question.
Alfie, how much does it mean to you to have qualified for this event?
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. It's just a massive shot in the arm. It's a real bonus for me to be able to compete against all the best players in the world. And at this stage of sort of my career, where it's, well, I mean, in theory it's over, because I'm not even on the main tour this season. So I'm not playing as much snooker as obviously I normally would if I was on the main tour. But I've obviously had a couple of weeks preparation to try and get myself in half decent shape to play against the best players in the world. But yeah, I'm absolutely delighted and grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Alfie in action, and we'll talk about him in a moment. Let's talk about his opponent. They're similar ages, actually. I think Alfie's a year younger and turned pro just a couple of years after Mark Williams. Mark, interesting to hear him talk there about his eyesight, and he has talked about it extensively. He's still managing to win matches, though, Neil, isn't he?
And he's still managing to like hoodwink us about the eyesight business. Now, okay, Rob did ask him about it, okay, and it can't be that bad, because last season he was saying about the laser surgery. He got to the world final, and a month ago, that 10-3 demolition of the hugely informed Sean Murphy. So I'm not really having it, but he's always trying to say these things, and that's what he does. He's an absolute genius of a snooker player. And he's good at playing down his chances in whatever he does. He's still one of the greats. And
we talk, of course he is one of the greats, and we talk about you know, the class of 92 and Ronnie and John Higgins, but when you look at what he's achieved and his longevity, to see somebody who's consistently been able to be at the top of their game over multiple decades, you know, there he is, winning tour events in his teens, his 20s, his 30s, his 40s and 50s. We watch players play week in, week out who sometimes never win a ranking event. That says something about not just him as a player, but him as an individual.
It does, and it's quite the CV, isn't it, looking at it? But I do believe the second half of his career has largely been down to having a coach and having a method. Because I've always said in this game, you can't educate someone to be intelligent. I'm talking about snooker intelligence, and he is the best at that. And because he has a technique and a method, in my opinion, in recent years, he's been able to use that intelligence to the max.
And he makes it look effortless as well, doesn't he?
He does. And, you know, Alan's right, he's got a great work ethic, and Lee Walker, I think, is very understated, but one of the best coaches around. You know, what he's doing with Mark is incredible. Mark doesn't even practice very much, and he still comes to these events, puts in some pretty sort of strict practice routines, and he gets himself motoring. You know, he's an incredible player. You know, he's had some time off. When he won in Jan, he's not played since. So he's here defending this. He thought he'd go to Saudi maybe next month. I can't think why he wanted to go there. There's a few quid in that one, bless him. And, you know, he picks and chooses.
He's world number 4. He's been at the very top of the world rankings. He's playing against Alfie Burden. The highest Alfie's been is 38th in the world. That was 20-odd years ago, more. He's off the tour. How much competitive snooker is Alfie playing, Al?
That's a concern, yes. He has played in 4 Q Tour events. It's a secondary tour we have, but that's a bit of travelling around Europe and you're not playing week in, week out. He did say, you know, in his chat there about having a couple of weeks good prep for this. So that's good. But one thing he has, I think, he's a natural player. I mean, Neil knows Alfie very well, obviously, and that helps him, I think, today. But he's got to get off to a good start.
Yeah, he's a very gifted player, you know. He did drop off the tour last year, right? So that tells you that he's not the player perhaps he was. But, you know, last year he beat Ding Junhui in Jan, and he's beaten John Higgins in the Scottish before. He's had good results along the way, but it is a concern, as Alan says, that he's now off the tour and he's playing in different kind of events that are not main tour events. Is he as sharp?
Let's just have a very quick prediction from you both then, Neil.
I think Mark will win. I hope Alfie gets some frames and acquits himself well. You never know what can happen.
I do too. I think Mark will win, but I hope Alfie makes a good show of it. I think he will.
Good stuff. We look forward to that one later then. Coming up, of course, after the break, we'll get play underway. Today's opening group match between Mark Williams and Alfie Burden. Yes, 12 months ago, Mark Williams added the Champion of Champions to his incredible CV, and he begins his title defence against Alfie Burden in the pair's first meeting in 7 years. The World Seniors Champion is looking for his first ever win against the great Welshman. Calling all the action from the commentary box, Ken Doherty is with David Hendon, but first here's Tahir Hadjat to welcome the players.
Good afternoon and welcome, snooker fans, to Leicester as Matchroom Multisport presents to you the Champion of Champions. Now, last night's deciding frame drama was the most watched live sport UK broadcast, and we've got plenty of more action from this here on this afternoon. So up first, let's welcome our two players into the arena for our first best of 7. Please welcome the World Senior Snooker Champion, the AB of London, Alfie Burden. And his opponent is the reigning champion of champions. It's the Welsh potting machine, Mark Williams. My Delilah. Why, Delilah? So before they come to break down the door, forgive me, Delilah, I just couldn't take anymore.
Well, I think the walk-on songs kind of sum up these two characters. Alfie Burden storms out to the clash, and Mark Williams ambles out to Tom Jones' Delilah. Very interesting match, this. Alfie Burden, World Seniors Champion, but of course his opponent, he's actually older than him. Mark Williams recently became the oldest ever ranking event winner at the age of 50, breaking Ray Reardon's record, which had stood since 1982.
Thank you. First frame.
Big day for Alfie Burden. It's good to
break.
see him in this event. He won the World Seniors Championship at the Crucible earlier this year. And we know, and Mark Williams certainly knows, Ken, what a great competitor Alfie is.
Yeah, absolutely, David, and a wonderful opportunity to showcase his talent, but it's going to be tough, of course. He's playing not only the defending champion, but a man in wonderful form as well. Interesting matchup. But as I said, it's a wonderful opportunity, and you know, sometimes when you're given opportunities like that, you're on a free roll in a way. And that may help Alfie, but it's going to be tough.
Williams, of course, the defending champion. But in fact, this is only his 5th appearance in the Champion of Champions. He's not played every year, but played some great stuff 12 months ago. Eventually beat Zhao Guodong, having already beaten the likes of Karen Wilson, Neil Robertson along the way. Alfie Burden at the Crucible beat Jimmy White. He beat Tony Drago along the way to the final there of the World Seniors. Got to settle quickly, hasn't he? It's not a long match, this best of 7, and he's playing an absolute master when it comes to the temperament. So these early frames are going to be important.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And I think the way the table's been playing this week, I think it may help Alfie. First opportunity here now. You could do with one good long pot here. That would certainly settle him. Lovely.
What?
Good pot. Trying to come around the back of the black and probably back up for blue or ball colour, but that little kiss on the red is just slowed the cue ball down, so he's going to have to find another good pot here. Pot the blue in the middle, and maybe just go between brown and yellow. Well, he's potting it maybe into the yellow pocket. Big shot, that.
Alfie Burden, 1. One.
Well, let's have a look at this black. It looks like he has enough of it, but from this angle, but of course from the other angle, where he's shooting from. Yeah, plenty. I think that might be a little bit of evidence. He has spoken about his eyesight, and when the balls are really, really close like that, as we saw in his interview at the top of the show, that sometimes he's not 100% sure, and that's why he took his time over that particular black. I think he would have preferred the black to go on the blue spot. He's asked the referee just to double check. It's just hit the red there a little bit.
Let's have another check mark.
Well, I think that we saw there the black actually touched the red.
Yeah, it's marginal. John Pellew is the referee, and in fact it is going up on the blue spot. Talking millimetres there, but it's made a difference. He's in a very good place, Mark Williams, because of course all the ranking points he's got, number 4 in the world. He can pick and choose his events. He doesn't have to play in everything. And you can understand at the age of 50 why he wouldn't want to do quite as much travelling as some of the other players. But equally, he's still capable, as we've seen this season, of winning tournaments, even though maybe he's not as sharp as some of the other players. He just finds ways. I mean, I commentated on the Jean Grand Prix that he won. The semi-final with Daniel Wells was not a good match at all, but he scrapped through, and then in the final against Shaun Murphy, he was absolutely superb. He won 10-3 against really the form man at that time.
17.
Very clever player, isn't he? Wily player, Ken.
Oh, he's a wily old fox, yeah. He plays some wonderful shots, clever shots, particularly in the tactical part of the game when he has to. Very strong in that department as well. I mean, this is his greatest asset in around
24.
Around pink and black, and lovely little touches, and break building. His potting has always
25.
been exceptional, but sometimes when the game is broken down, there's not many better in the game or knows more about the sort of the darker side of the game than Mark Williams.
32. 33.
He could go into the pack here, but I don't think he will. He likes to pick off reds, and he's got plenty of options here. The red at the bottom of the pack does pot into the left corner, and that's the one he's got on.
$40. 41.
He's got his own imitable style as well, the way he plays and floats around the table. hits the ball very softly. Very rarely you see him hit it that hard.
48.
Yeah, he's just working out, I think. A little bit of mathematics. These 3 reds with high value colours would be enough. He wouldn't have to disturb the pack
49.
of 5 reds beneath the pink.
$56. 57.
Well, it's been a typically nicely constructed break, this, from Mark Williams. He's just a couple of balls away now from securing the opening frame. Burden got in, of course. He took on that tough blue to the yellow pocket. Didn't really get too close to it.
$64.
So we'll need another red as well after this green.
$67.
And it looks like the perfect start for the defending champ.
68.
It's true that he doesn't do lots of practice between events anymore, but when he comes to tournaments, he really does put the work in. We saw him upstairs with Lee Walker, his coach. Doesn't just sort of turn up 10 minutes before and hope for the best. He's been on the table a lot already this week. There's Lee.
75.
Former professional himself, of course.
76.
Yeah, trying to split the reds up. Sort of
83.
hasn't worked out. He may have to play a little plant here to keep the break going.
Mark Williams, 83.
Well, it's a good start nonetheless from Mark Williams, 83. Looking sharp already. The defending champion leads here 1-0. Off and running on day 3 here at the Champion of Champions. Of course, we know that it's Judd Trump against Xiao Tong in the first semi-final on Friday night. In this group, the winner of this match will play Mark Selby or Stephen Maguire this evening. We have the final group tomorrow. That includes the likes of John Higgins and Neil Robertson. Well, it's a bit of a sort of rude awakening, wasn't it, that first frame for Alfie? You know, he took on the blue, big shot, and then was thoroughly punished.
Hasn't left the pot on, but he could be tucked right up behind the yellow when he comes back to the table, Alfie Burden.
Foul and a miss for Mark Williams.
He hasn't left anything on, so it's put back. It shouldn't be a problem. Just got to gauge the speed of the cue ball off that first cushion just before the right middle pocket.
Check carefully, please, Alfie. A bit further away. Yeah. Okay, Mark.
Of course, Alfie Burden for many years was a professional. He was a professional from 1994 to 2008. And then he got back on, he won the World Amateur title. And it's sort of been on and off since, dropped off again earlier this year. So at the moment he's playing on the Q Tour in amateur snooker. But he's been in 4 quarterfinals. He had some good scalps played at the Crucible. And just last season, as Neil was saying, he beat Ding in China.
Quite competent footballer in his younger days as well. Was on the books of Arsenal, as indeed his son was. quite a character on the circuit, Alfie Burden. It's a big match, isn't it, David? You know, when you're off the tour, you're not being on the TV that much, and then of course you're thrown in the deep end against the defending champion and one of the legends of the game, Mark Williams. But it's a wonderful opportunity as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the good things about the senior circuit, obviously it's great to see the legends, Jimmy, yourself, but players who've had careers, maybe didn't reach the very, very top, but can still play competitively, still got tournaments to play in and still keep that love going and that enjoyment going. And I believe actually the next year's World Seniors Championship was even more players at the Crucible, so more opportunities to play at that great venue.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be 24 players, 2 tables. A bit like the setup of the World Championship itself. Well, it's getting bigger and better every year.
Thank you.
That was a good shot from Alfie Burden. Had to hit the extreme right hand side as we look of that red. Yeah, nice acknowledgement from his opponent. He may play this red. He may play off the knuckle of the middle pocket, or no, he's gone. Well, he didn't mean that. He's more concerned about the cue ball than the red.
Green ball.
Was a little
Alfie
bit
Burden,
heavy-handed.
1.
Didn't get the snooker.
One.
Good pot. Didn't get the right connection on this second red. He's trying to hold for the pink into the right centre.
Yellow ball. Mark Williams, 1.
may elect to play a containing safety shot and leave the cue ball down this end of the table as opposed to trying to get it back to the bulk area. That red on the right hand side cushion is causing a slight problem for him, and that's why he's taking a good look at this. If he plays this red just left of the pink cup, well, he's going for it. Needs a bit of luck here to get away with this. He put his hand up, but he's still giving Mark a half chance on this red.
Yeah, he might have gone a bit early with the apology.
One.
Sorry, not sorry. Mark Williams drills it in.
Five.
That was a lovely weighted shot there to get on this red. Just looking at, can he get on the pink, and where would the pink go if he did?
Six. $13. $13.
Good recovery.
17.
Nicely back in position. Well, that pink looks pretty tight into that left centre pocket. And that's why he's gone up for
18.
the blue. But nicely played, top side. But he's got a little problem here because the pink and black now look tied up. Just trying to work out exactly how he's going to go about this. He's gonna try and get on a red and maybe dislodge maybe the pink or black, or having a look at that red just below that's closest to the pink. Is it potable? Looks pretty tight as well.
$23. 24.
I tried to play a little cannon on those two reds.
29.
Closest to the right corner pocket, missed them. So just a safety shot. That red is not potable beneath the pink.
Yeah, it was hard work, wasn't it, for 29 points with the big colours not in great positions.
Mark Williams, 29.
But he's so adept, Williams, at winning these sort of frames that, you know, might take 3 or 4 visits, but he's just good at controlling frames like this. Oh dear, he's caught too much of that red. And there, wrap on the table. Not happy. Because he fears he's done the frame with that shot.
1.
Well, he was, of course, looking forward to this match, but didn't enjoy this. Got too much of the red. And then the cue came down.
Six. Seven. $14. $15.
He's having a good look at this red into the bottom right corner. It's pretty tight as well. May just go.
$20.
This is one of these, once again, it's a little test for his own eyesight. Well, let's have another little look. Does it pass this red? It's very tight. There's a slight gap between the two reds. That may make it potable, but he's not convinced. Maybe this other one does pot into the left corner.
$21.
It looked wide, didn't it, that? But it's dropped in. So that blue puts him 59 in front with a possible 59 on.
26. Mark Williams,
So
26.
Williams, well and truly in the driving seat in frame 2. That was a better shot though from Alfie Burden. As I say, you can still, with blacks and the colours, force a respot here. Well, half a chance now.
Yeah, and it all came from that really good safety shot. Now he's got to not only pot this red, but he's got to get high on the black. He doesn't want to finish low on the black, otherwise it'll be so difficult.
What?
He's a little bit low. You just have to pot it and maybe just hold the cue ball above the black. Well, he could play it with a little touch of left-hand side, and he's played that pretty good.
8.
Once again, imperative. He gives himself an angle when potting this red. Must finish on the right side of the black.
9.
It's not great. Not too much with the cue ball. Just drop the black. Don't miss the black. And the look up to
16.
the heavens tells us that he's not on the red.
Alfie Burden, 16.
Well, he kept his head, laid the snooker.
Mac Williams doesn't want to miss the red, whatever he does, because he's 43 ahead, of course, but still 43 on the table. Doesn't want to really disturb the red off the top cushion. Would prefer to play the red that's closest to the pocket. But maybe he's just got to hit this and make sure that he hits the red, makes a connection, just going to give 4 points away, and then trust a bit of luck. Well, it's not too bad. Another clever shot from Mark Williams.
Wow, just stayed on the lip. He wasn't sure. I don't know whether he felt he'd moved, but he was going to stay right down, wasn't he, until he found out either way.
Yeah, it's quite a clever shot. Oh, that's no good. That was no good at all. Didn't want to pot that. Of course, he needs 2 reds, 2 blacks. He's having a smile to himself. He was trying to hit the red into the jaws of the pocket, knock it up the table. Potted it. Well, what do you do now? You play the snooker, hope for 4 points. But you're going to need a snooker then. Not much you can do here, just roll up, really.
Alfie Burden.
That's not bad.
Well, surely if he hits it, he's going to pot it. So Burden now needs 1 snooker.
Burden.
With a red and a black, 38. So 1 snooker.
1.
Yeah, and the position of the green, brown and blue certainly conducive to snookers. Nice big target behind all of those balls. He's played this nicely because now he can just push the yellow past blue and green and try and get that cue ball. Nestle in behind the blue here. Well, he's gone for the brown. It was too hard.
Alfie Burden.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity. I think behind the blue would have been a much better shot from. I suppose he's trying to get a little bit of distance, but that was a missed opportunity for Alfie.
Well, surely now it's Williams' frame.
2.
Well, we'll put it this way, we're back to 2 snookers needed.
Mark Williams. 2. Three. Thank you. Alfie Burden. 3.
Well, he's got the snooker, but it's. I can't see Mike Williams missing this. And then he'll pot it as well.
4. Frame conceded.
Alfie Burden
Mark
concedes.
Williams.
So Mark Williams, the defending champion, halfway towards a place in the group final this evening. He leads 2-0. It's 2-0 to Mark Williams, and he's dominated the first 2 frames, let's be honest. He made 83 in the first, bits and pieces in the second, but Alfie Burden, well, he had the outside chance, but of course potted that penultimate red, unintended, and after that required snookers. So, well, Williams always looks comfortable, doesn't he? Always looks laid back no matter what's happening, and every right to beat. I think we said, didn't we, the start was important for Alfie, and he hasn't quite settled yet.
No, he hasn't. Yeah, he's missed a few long ones, and well, it's just been dominated by this man. He's kept him in the long grass, and he's forced errors, and when he's got his chance, he's kept his opponent very, very cold.
So Alfie Burden supporters lending their support from the audience. I think you want any player just to acquit themselves well, don't you? And no great surprise he's left the arena after this frame, just to try and get himself going. Of course, we saw him wrap the cue earlier. Bit of frustration. Now then, if you want to know where the cue ball's going, that's the man to ask, the legend, John Virgo Ken here today. Great to see you.
Yeah, I think he was looking for the cue ball there, was he? Yeah, the 1979 UK champion. He's here to support the snooker. It's good to have him here.
Well, let's see if he can get in early in the frame and just get his hand on the table, make a few. Highest break, only 16 so far.
OK, thank you. 3rd frame, Alfie Burden to break.
They've played 3 times before. The first actually was 25 years ago at the 2000 Welsh Open. And the last meeting in Northern Ireland 7 years ago. Williams has won them all.
Well, he's contemplating taking this red on. Down the left-hand side of the table. Screwing back for a ball colour. Shaping up for it. Needs cover on the yellow. And he's got it. Good shot.
Foul. 7, Mark Williams.
Well, thanks a lot, he says. But a good cue ball, but of course he's got to play the next shot now. That's the problem, because Mark's put him back in. Yeah. Cheers for that, he says.
He was very unlucky, wasn't he? He could have played that maybe 100 times and not had the same result. And he's left the red. Not straightforward, this, into a blind pocket, but if he manages to pot the red, he'll just cannon the red left to the black and will be on the black. Yeah, good shot.
Right. Eight. Nine.
Well, you've got to say this is a very good scoring chance for Mark Williams. Of course, he made 83 frame 1. Was the oldest Crucible finalist earlier this year at the age of 50. Took on Zhao Xing. Of course, he had the long semi-final, hadn't he, with Judd Trump, where of course Xing beat Ronnie O'Sullivan with a session to spare. So coming in, regardless of age, he had played a lot more frames in the couple of days prior and made a bad start. Went 7-1 down.
$24. Mark Williams, 24.
Well, that was a surprise. Wasn't. Good cueing there, a little bit rushed. Oh, a chance for Alfie. He's missed it.
One.
Yeah, in fairness, that chance for Alfie, it wasn't as easy as it could have been. He was tucked under the cushion. He's going across the nap of the table, trying to drop the red into the middle. Can easily veer offline.
Five.
Cue ball could have travelled a little bit further for Mark Williams. Shake it ahead.
Six.
That was a nice shot. Lovely little cannon on the red just to hold the cue ball. And that's a great part of his game, is, you know, the finesse that he has. Playing those delicate little cannons
12.
and holding the cue ball, dropping them reds and colours in, dead weight almost, just trusting his action.
$13. $19. Thank you. 20.
So, of course, he did break down early in this frame, but in general, it just feels like Mark Williams is in complete control of this match. Burden's frustrations growing with every chance that sails by.
$27.
Of course, already this season, Mark's won a tournament. Ronnie O'Sullivan, runner-up in Saudi Arabia. John Higgins, runner-up just last week in Nanjing at the International Championship. So the class of '92, they're all still in the top 6 in the world. Mark and John both 50 already. Ronnie next month, celebrate that landmark birthday.
$28.
Right, lovely little cannon there just to split the reds.
34. $35.
So pink and one more red, and it's 3-0.
41. .42.
So Burden did get that chance, but was unable to take it, and Williams is just sailing serenely towards the group final.
.49. 50.
It's amazing to think Mark Williams actually won the World Seniors Championship when he was 39. Seems a bit young, but here he is at 50, still winning, you know, big main tour
57.
events, still getting to world finals.
.58.
The oldest player to play at the Crucible in the final stages of the World Championship, Fred Davis, he was 70. So he's still got a little way to go yet to break that record.
63.
I'm sure he'll try.
.64.
Yeah, amazing. The talent and the standard, of course, that he's kept up over the years.
I can see it now, Ken, in 2050. We'll be sat here. When are the class of 92 going to finally retire? Let's hope it's not for a long time yet.
Well, if they keep producing
70.
snooker like they have done, and there's no real reason.
So he didn't win it at the first time of asking. Alfie Burden, though, unable to get in and get going. Mark Williams with a solid 70. He's on the verge of victory here at 3-0. So Mark Williams leads Alfie Burden 3-0 and needs one more frame to put himself through to the group final tonight against either Mark Selby or Stephen Maguire, and they're going to be up after this one. He's gone about his business very well, Williams, but he's not been put under huge pressure, and Burden has just struggled really, and that's what we were saying. It's such a short match, you really got to get going very early in these best of sevens.
1. Five. Six.
He won't go into the pack of reds. He would have thought maybe play for that loose red beside the black. Probably gone a little further than he would have liked. Might back up for the blue here.
12.
Now, nice angle required, and he's got one. So now try and, if you can, hit that pink full on. Split the reds everywhere. Well, he sort of caught a half ball, but is he on this red? I think he can pot it.
17. 18.
Oh, that was a lovely shot. Great positional
21.
shot, that. Perfect.
22.
Yeah, nice angle on the black. Lots of top spin off that cushion. Lots of pace. Well, he hit it with a lot of pace, but didn't get much of a
29.
sort of a split or separation from the red. So just a safety shot coming up, I think.
Mark Williams, 29. Foul and a miss for Mark Williams. Back, okay. You check after me, please, Alfie. Bit further to the left.
Bit left and a bit higher. Bit more.
I think you could see a bit more than you could. You could see a bit less than that. Do you want me to bring it up on the screen? You're playing the same, okay. Are you happy with Mark? Okay. No, it's okay. Play from there.
He's in a lot of trouble there, Alfie. But not easy for Mark Williams here to get. Well, he's having a look at the pink. He could play for the pink here. Might be a better choice because to get it back up for the blue or a ball colour, be quite difficult. Play with a little bit of left-hand side here. Widen the angle off the cushion. Try and get on that pink.
7. 8.
Well, what a shot this is.
14.
Played with a lot of left-hand side. And that was just
15.
an excellent positional shot. So he played it with left-hand side off the cushion to try and check it before the yellow. And then, of course, the running side catches off the next cushion. Beautifully out between the ball colours. What a shot. Might go on a hot shot reel, that there.
21.
Absolutely, and typical Williams, you know, just the
22.
cleverness, the shot making. His safety's been good today as well. He has kept Burden under pressure, not been giving him easy chances. Alfie clearly has got a little frustrated as the afternoon's gone on because it was a big occasion for him. But it just seems like time is running out now.
$28. $29.
Yeah, nicely done. And the pink is match ball, barring snookers. We've been going 64 minutes. It's been one-sided. Well, he says he can't see properly. He says he doesn't understand why he's still winning matches, winning
35.
tournaments. The reason is he's still a brilliant snooker player and such a clever one as well. So good at controlling matches. He's controlled this one superbly. Yes, Burden struggled, but he hasn't had a sea of easy chances either. So one snooker needed.
Mark Williams, 35.
Yeah, it's been a quite comprehensive display from Mark Williams. He's probably struggled, you know, he hasn't been playing competitively the top level. It's been a bit of a baptism of fire for him this afternoon. And once again, he's come to the table, but he's in a lot of trouble. I think that's what Mark Williams has done well when he hasn't had a pot to go at. You know, he's really nailed his opponent to that bulk area, really put him under severe pressure. Real good sort of match play snooker from Mark Williams. Even now, look, he's 3-0 up, 68 ahead. Not giving an inch. Not pushing the boat out, not taking a liberty. You're going for that red. That's missable. And turning the screw. And Alfie was feeling the brunt of it. He's created a chance of maybe getting a few points on the board and getting back into this frame. He's going to need to screw down, at least for the pink or black here.
One.
That's pretty good.
Seven. Eight.
Well, this is a must pot. Yeah, good pot.
14.
Having a look at the scoreboard. So, probably could do a pot in the black here. Needs 1 4-point snooker, but only if he gets 3 reds, 3 blacks.
Thank you. 15.
Now, imperative that he makes the black whatever about position on a red, but he wants to make sure he gets the 7 points in the bag here. Oh, he's played this very nicely. This is a really good shot. Very, very good.
22. $23. $30. Alfie Burden, 30.
Well, good contribution of 30 points. Gives himself a chance, and he's got a snooker. But they're going to have to be better snookers than that to catch the wily old fox, Mark Williams. Oh, this looks good if it travels. And as John Vega would say, is there a gap? I don't think there is, John.
He's in the audience, maybe he could let us know. One-handed. Only Mark Williams would play it like this.
Foul.
But he's not hit it.
Alfie Burden.
Oh, that was a chance. Well, he would have been on the black. He needed red, black, and all the colours to win by 1.
One. Frame conceded.
A great pot, and Alfie Burden comes forward to concede. It was one-sided, and it's Mark Williams, the defending champion, first into tonight's group final. A winner by 4 frames to 0.
Welcome back to day 3 of the Champion of Champions. We've seen our first match, and the defending champion, Mark Williams, is safely into tonight's group final. Neil Foulds and Al McManus watching this afternoon's action alongside me. He looked pretty good, 75 minutes, seen off Alfie Burden, really, who was outplayed by Willow today, wasn't he?
Yeah, you can't argue with that at all. I mean, yeah, I thought Mark Williams did well because Alfie never really got started and he wasn't going to allow him to do so. You know, he didn't really get involved. He missed a couple of balls, but yeah, I mean, the best player won, and it was a very one-sided match, absolutely how it was.
Yeah, and a lovely start from Mark Williams as well. Nice break to get things going.
Yeah, I thought early on the little flicks and kicks, if they go Alfie's way, then maybe he can get to work. He's a bit unlucky here with the half-ball cannon on the red. Full or thin, he's got black or blue there, but he leaves this long blue. Just kind of, not thrashes at it, but just overhits it, loses a bit of control, and then Mark Williams is presented with the kind of chance that you don't want to give him straight off the bat. And as you say, Jill, he gets to work nicely, Neil, doesn't he, with typical positional shots.
I think exactly what you say is right, because Alfie did overhit the blue, and then that's something Mark Williams, I don't think I ever see him do. You know, he never overhits balls. You know, even a shot like this where, you know, he's never going to thunder it in because he's got the kind of cue action. He wants to give it every chance of working. So he doesn't hit balls hard unless he really has to, and I'm not even sure he can hit them that hard these days. But, you know, he's gliding the cue ball around the angles beautifully, isn't he?
He uses the contours of the shots themselves so perfectly. Neil picked this out when we were in the green room. Neil feels that he maybe should be just dropping the cue ball in.
Yeah, he played a good shot here, but if he drops a black in and it's got a thin red and up, but he played off the cushion. He was found out by a lot of things today, the table and etc. But, you know, as I say, the problem is Mark didn't really give him many things to go at. You know, he knocked that black in there, didn't actually make a lot of difference, but for the points, he was getting a bit frustrated. But Mark is just gliding the balls in again, you know. He's a master at doing what he needs to do and no more, isn't he?
Yeah, and this sort of last chance in the match, if you want to call it that, was that red there. Mark leaves the cue ball tied to the side cushion, and then he picks up the pieces with that. And we knew when that disappeared, look at the reds there, you know that 30 in front, he's going to peel them off from there, and then he starts expressing himself and not showing off, but showing us what kind of game he's going to potentially bring tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he battled hard, Alfie, because he got the snooker in this frame, you know. At one point you think, well, there's not a hope, really, of him doing anything, but he got himself to the point 38 in it. You know, further down the line from here. This was a great shot, by the way, to get round, you know, the two side cushions and out of bulk, off the bulk cushion. He got the snooker. He was soundly beaten today. Alfie's, you know, he's had his day in the glory, I suppose, being here. But, you know, Williams was good.
Yeah, good to see Alfie here, but it's Mark Williams we'll see in tonight's group final. Who will he play? Well, the next match is fast approaching. It's Mark Selby up against Stephen Maguire, and ahead of this one, Mark spoke to Rob Walker.
What about this opening match? Stephen seems to have rediscovered a little bit of form this season. Won the Championship League. He went deep in China recently, and earlier this year put up a cracking fight against you at the Welsh.
Yeah, you know, it's a class act, and it's great to see him back playing top stuff again. You know, he's a top 16 player for me all day long, and obviously he's won some big tournaments himself, but he'll say himself he's definitely underachieved in the game. I remember when he first broke onto the scene, Hendry was saying he could even go on and dominate, you know. So to have that sort of recognition from somebody like Stephen is a feather in his cap. And yeah, so it doesn't surprise me him playing well. It was only a matter of time before he started playing some top snooker again, so it's going to be a tough match.
OK, we'll see how the jester from Leicester fares after the break. Coming up next, it's Mark Selby against Stephen Maguire. Another fascinating contest about to get underway here in Leicester. It's local hero Mark Selby against Stephen Maguire, and the pair are no strangers to one another with 19 previous meetings, the last in the Welsh Open final. Who'll come out on top today in today's best of 7? Guiding us through this one is Stephen Hendry alongside Phil Yates. First, though, here's Tahir Hadjet to introduce the players.
Welcome back to the champion of champions. Mark Williams safely through to tonight's group final. 2 more snooker superstars ready to see if they can survive and advance. Let's get our final best of 7 underway. Up first, please welcome into the arena 7-time ranking event champion, on fire, Stephen Maguire. His opponent in his own backyard, 24-time ranking event champion, the jester from Leicester, Mark Selby.
Our first semi-final on Friday will feature the world number 1.
What would you like to call? It tells
And,
Stephen it's your choice.
Multiple-time world number 1,
To break, okay?
but not the current incumbent,
Whenever you're ready.
is the favourite to win this match.
Sorry.
But Stephen Maguire has been rejuvenated this season.
Thank you. The first frame. Mark Selby to break.
I get the feeling this match, best of 7, it will be highly competitive. Yes, Selby's favourite. Maguire, though, well capable of causing what would be a mild upset.
Yeah, looking forward to this match. It's hard to pick a winner, really. Mark Selby, who's, to me, a bit of an enigma the last 2 or 3 years. You don't really know which Selby's going to turn up. At his best, he's unplayable for me, but those performances are few and far between. Still really tough to beat. This man at the table is, well, in my opinion, has underachieved in his career. He's had a great career, a decent career that a lot of players would have liked for themselves, but I believe he should have won a hell of a lot more. Great player, great competitor.
And this season, starting right here at the Mattioli in the summer, a very good attitude. He won the first event of the season, the Championship League, at this venue. And I thought his application throughout that was top-notch. I think he's rededicated himself to the game. He's practiced an awful lot, even in the short close season, and he's getting some of the fruits of that labour, is Maguire. Back up to world number 25. Of course, he's got the potential to go significantly higher than that.
One.
And Stephen, he plays the game in an attractive way, always takes the ball by the horns. If there's an attacking option, he will not shy away from it.
Yeah, and an intimidating force at the table as well.
6.
Likes to bully his opponents. think one of the things that's held Stephen Maguire back in recent times is just chopping and changing cues all the time. He's been incredible. Literally changing cue from tournament to tournament at stages. Something you really can't do.
Like many players, caught out there by the comparative slowness of the bounce off the top cushion, but he should be okay. I think this red just does perhaps squeeze in. Look aghast, turn away as though you're disgusted, then knock it in sweet as a nut.
$22. $23.
The red that's directly above the black. You'll be looking to play a cannon on the red to the left of that as we look, because that red is available to right corner. Yeah, looks I've played it to perfection.
30. $31.
Mark Selby said in his interview pre-match he thinks Stephen's a top 16 player. I think at his
38.
best he's a top 8 player. Maguire for me.
$39.
Caught the pink pretty solidly, not quite on the nose, but decent enough.
Foul. Stephen Maguire 44, Mark Selby 4.
Yesterday, it was a terrific day snooker, notable for so many episodes of luck, either good or bad. That was of the cruel variety.
Well, that was just incredible, wasn't it? I mean, you just... Of all the things that you think might happen when you go into the reds, that's the last thing that Stephen would have thought of. A red going up the table and potting the yellow. I mean, that was unbelievable.
7. 8. 13.
Selby's a real student of the circuit. He knows the personalities and the traits of all of the other top players. And that's why he'll be doubling down here in terms of focus, trying to hurt Maguire to the max.
Okay. 14. 21. 22. 27. 28.
Selby knows if he can salvage this frame in these circumstances, it would have a bigger psychological impact than if you were to make a total clearance to start off.
Oh, this is the last of the easy reds that Mark Selby is
32.
going to get rid of. Now the hard work starts. They play for yellow here.
33.
Yeah, that's what he's done. So that's a nice angle to now try and move the red that's near that left middle. He'll play cushion first with the cue ball. Wow. That was a big target for someone of Mark Selby's ability.
35.
That was a poor misjudgment. The problem he's got now is this red is obviously a very difficult pot with the rest, but it's also very difficult. In fact, he's going to refuse it to get position on a colour to get near that other red. So that's why he's not even going to bother with the red with the rest. Didn't see a future in being able to clear up, even if he potted it. So,
Mark Selby, 35.
Keeping it tight. Slight grimace from Steve Maguire. Didn't want that red to hit the jaw of the middle pocket. I can't see Mark taking a pot on, but he has got a choice of either red. if the red he played was the last red on the table, he would have played the pot. But because there was another red there, that was the reason for refusing it.
Those clapping in the crowd are quite right to do so. That was a shot that Selby himself would have been happy with.
Yeah, he's got no weaknesses, Stephen Maguire. When he's playing well, every part of his game is very strong.
I think there was just the faintest double kiss flick there. But no obvious damage done.
You can see the state of the table. The next mistake will probably cost whoever makes it the frame on the situation of the table. Nothing's safe. Couldn't see a decent safety, so decided to go on the attack. And I think Mark Selby be tempted by this one to right corner because he can play it in such a way he doesn't leave the other red. The only red he'd leave would be the one that he's going for. It looks like he is going to turn it down. Surprises me. This is a bit negative for me. You know, it begs the question, what sort of red, what sort of pot do you want to be left before you'll take it on? But obviously, best of sevens are quite short sprints, so the first frame, especially the way this has transpired, can be very important. Selby's obviously adopting the no-risk strategy. This frame now could become quite a drawn-out one with that pink there, because the safety is easy as long as you keep the reds near that right side of the table. Well, unless you make a complete hash of it, like Steve Maguire just has.
The black goes to the side cushion, but Selby only 5 adrift. Won't need it.
One.
Yeah, and his decision to refuse that red to right corner a couple of shots ago is looks like proven to be the right decision. Got to play decent position shot here to get on the red, so the red becomes unmissable. Because the pink's so close to the pocket and the cue ball's close to the pink, might be tricky to get the cue ball out of there. He doesn't really want to play for red to right middle because the pink, when it goes back on its spot, will block that. So he's got to play a decent shot here. Yeah, and he has done. That's excellent. So Maguire will feel a little bit hard done to lose in this frame. He was in, and if that red didn't go up the table and pot the yellow, as we've seen, it was incredibly unlucky. He probably would have won this opening frame, so this will hurt.
8.
Yes, it really does look as though Mark Selby, one of only 2 ever presents in the Champion of Champions, together with Judd Trump, is going to draw first blood. Nine in front, so he needs down to the blue.
$16.
Sports psychologists would say what Maguire must do, sitting in his chair between frames, not feel aggrieved.
90.
But that's easier said than done in these circumstances.
$23. $28. $34 and a frame.
Come Sunday night, Mark Selby wants to say there is no place like home. And the man from right here in Leicester has made the perfect start. Stephen Maguire has to try and erase the bitter memory of the first frame.
The fact that the cue ball's been cleaned means that there was certainly Steve Maguire felt there was a bad contact when the cue ball hit the pack of reds. It certainly came off very thick and took all the pace out of the cue ball. That's why Mark Selby's left this red. How will he play it? Will he stay on the black or take the cue ball back up the table? Tried to stay for the black, but a mile away from the pot.
That could be a source of annoyance, because the reason Selby's left nothing easy is because he was so far away. He was the beneficiary of his own inaccuracy. Oh, but what a pot from Maguire. What a pot.
Yeah, aggressive shot choice, wasn't it? Could have easily been forgiven for keeping it safe, but let's say that's the nature of his game. He does have an excellent temperament, Maguire. Okay, we've seen him in the past. He likes to thump the table sometimes and bang the cue, but he gets rid of it straight away. It's kind of like, if anyone watches golf, Tyrrell Hatton, you get rid of it straight away, and then you feel better for the next shot, and it's a sign of a good temperament rather than a bad one. He'll be very angry at that shot. Played to go past the red that he made contact with, leave it to left corner.
Stephen Maguire, 13.
That's a premature end to that visit to the table. And didn't really pay much attention to the safety shot. Played it very quickly. Left Mark Selby another long pot. When I get closer to this one. Well, not a lot closer, you have to say.
One.
Well, he's had another savage bit of bad run in there.
8.
Steve Maguire. Again, played the aggressive shot on the black into the reds, and he's got red to right middle. It's not as easy as the one that he played. He was hoping to be onto right corner. This is actually not bad, this red. I thought for a minute he wasn't going to be on anything. This is quite comfortable. It's another case where he threw his head to the heavens, didn't he, Phil? And all of a sudden he's on a straight red to the right middle. That does annoy you if you're in Selby's seat. He threw us all there. I thought he had been really unlucky.
16.
Yeah, I think when he realised he got the red to middle, he was a little sheepish.
70.
Bear in mind, Maguire has beaten Mark Selby in the first round of the Champion of Champions before, 10 years ago. Made 134 break in the opening frame, won the second on the black and
24.
went on to prevail 4-1.
25.
But in their only other encounter in this tournament, in the quarterfinals in 2013, Selby won 6-3, making a trio of centuries. He plays that shot brilliantly, Maguire. The one with the running side to widen the angle off the top cushion.
32. Stephen Maguire, 32.
But, Stephen, there was nothing brilliant about that. They're the kind of shots that get under Maguire's skin.
Well, they get under any player's skin. He was horrified that he hasn't won the frame from that visit. He really will. Okay, he's not left a pot for Mark Selby, so he may get another chance, but that doesn't really put your opponent under any pressure when he knows you're not winning frames in one visit.
One.
Not a bad kiss, that. It held the cue ball in mid-table and 4 colours are available.
Well, this is a nasty red from tight under the cushion. I'm not sure if it's a natural to go underneath the black, leave the black to left corner. Looks like it may be. You never seem to miss this thick. Wow, commentator's curse.
Mark Selby, 5.
You always miss that to the right jaw because you swing the cue ball across with right hand side. That's incredible. It was a horrible shot. Great knowledge there, Phil, wasn't it?
I do feel for you, though, because you're absolutely right.
Again, a little shake of the head from Stephen. Not the best safety shot. He wanted to block this red with the yellow and blue. He's going to be in trouble, you would expect, the next time he comes to the table.
And a miss.
As he was
Mark
queuing up
Selby
to that,
four.
I thought that might be the eventuality. No contact at all. Maguire led 44-0 in the first frame. Didn't get the job done. Here he led by 40.
Okay, Mark. Thank you.
If Selby could salvage this, it would be a double blow. Well, the cue ball not bad, but when you're behind in the frame, the last thing you want is to see pink and black go out of commission. The old shot to nothing normally eats these for breakfast.
One.
Yeah, Maguire's safety has been poor. It's only really in the second frame of this match, but I'm looking at the safety success stats. He's down at 55%, which is pretty low for him. Selby's up at 90%. I still don't understand how they work out a good safety shot, but we'll trust the statisticians. But yeah, it has been a poor part of Maguire's game this afternoon so far. He's not put Selby in any trouble whatsoever.
4.
At any stage.
Five. Yeah. $11. $12.
Pink will go back in its own spot here, so no problem playing for the red to the left of the pink. Looks like the pink will be available to right middle.
18.
Can't get on it to right middle from there, it's too straight, so be left corner. Touch your left hand side on the cue ball.
19.
Yeah, beautifully played. His technique in playing, well, at every shot really, his technique is flawless, Mark Selby. But screw shots, he gets incredible work on the cue ball.
25.
Watch his technique. He keeps the cue virtually parallel to the bed of the table. Just adjusts by raising his bridge hand.
26.
These two first played in 2003, and Stephen, back then, Selby's technique was a lot different to what it is now. Very lengthy cue action he got then. It's been considerably shortened.
$32. $33.
Had the red gone into the middle of the pocket there, position would not have been an issue, but he almost overcut the red.
No, that was a
37.
bad shot, really. He was pretty comfortable to play for red to right middle or left corner there. Okay, the cue ball's travelling a long way, but for someone of Mark's ability, he'd be disappointed with that last shot. Red still goes to the yellow pocket, and he can play it without any real pressure. You think if, as long as the play's at a fair pace, it'll come away from the pocket should he miss. He has missed, but he just played it with enough
Selby,
pace,
37.
so it wasn't leaving anything.
And now this frame, very similar to the first. Maguire off and running, but he comes down to a battle with two reds left.
There's not many players in the game I'd at least be happy playing in this situation against than Selby. He's just a master of the tactical side of this state of the game when there's a couple of reds left. Forcing the mistake out of your opponent. Definitely put John Higgins in that category, and the fellow who's in the final tonight, Mark Williams, he's another one. Just so clever in the dark arts of the game, as Alan McManus calls them.
One.
Level board. The reason Maguire's taking a while on this shot, A, its importance, and B, he's got lots of options.
Yeah, I don't know if he's thinking about taking the brown off the black cushion into the red that's over the middle, because it's not potable where it is, and still laying the snooker behind blue or yellow. just maybe nudging the red off that cushion.
Brown ball.
He's not hit the brown hard enough. That's
Stephen
why he sinks
Maguire
his
one.
head low. He's now put the brown safe.
Which he will require. They both do. Maguire failed with his attempt at the snooker. Selby most certainly did not, and this could spell trouble.
Foul. No miss. Mark Selby 4. Mark. Thank you. Foul. No miss. Mark Selby 4.
Quite a dangerous pace Stephen's playing this at. Could easily leave the red on. And decided to go the other.
Foul. No miss.
The other way, but a little bit of
Selby
frustration showed again. Just lack of patience.
When you take a wild swipe trying to escape from a snooker, you hear it up in the players' room, in the press room, it's called a Maguire. And there, the man himself played his patented shot, just got frustrated.
One.
But you see, all of those penalty points mean that Selby will not require the awkward brown.
Seven. Nine.
Absolutely stunning piece of cueing from Mark Selby. Doesn't get any better than this.
12.
Frame ball green in. 27 in front, 22 on. As it stands, 2 snookers needed.
Mark Selby, 12. Frame conceded. Frame Mark Selby.
The scoreline is 2-0. It could most easily be 2-0 to Maguire. Instead, Mark Selby looking good. Into the group final this evening to take on Mark Williams. Well, he's 2-0 up. That means he's halfway to his goal. Stephen Maguire is a class act, a wonderful player.
Mark Selby to break.
But I think from here, he will need to be pretty much near his best to pull this one out of the fire. That said, though, Selby this season has lost quite a few matches from positions of superiority. And what's more, he's lost in the first round of this Champion of Champions 3 times over the years. We talked about his defeat by Maguire in 2015. In 2018 and 2023, he lost 4-3 from 3-2 up against Neil Robertson and Ali Carter, respectively. So Maguire still in with a real chance.
Yeah, he's got to regain a bit of composure though, because he's definitely lost it a little bit at the end of that last frame. He's not had the best run of the ball, you'd have to say, Steve Maguire, in this match, but still he's made too many unforced errors, mainly in the safety department. Selby, from distance, has not been that convincing.
Yeah, Stephen, you made the point earlier, absolutely correctly, that the safety stats are stark. Yes, Selby normally takes control in that department against pretty much anyone, but the numbers here are extremely lopsided. His safety success, 93%. After the last shot, we've just seen, Maguire's languishing at 39%.
yeah, it's not like him because, as I said, I don't think he's got any real weaknesses in his game, Maguire, but obviously that's when he's at his best, and he's just slowly getting worse in this match. As I say, from some of the things that have happened to him in the first 2 frames, he needs to regain his composure and his focus.
Well, you might say he's been a little lucky there, but you can't begrudge him that.
One.
Well, that nice mid-distance red from
6.
Selby, the kind of shot that players practice quite a lot to get their cue action in a groove. So mid-distance straight shots. It's created an excellent opportunity from Reds, all in great positions. No need to be playing any
7.
splits of the pack or anything like that. It's a great chance here.
Selby's most recent competitive outing was the quarterfinals of the International Championship in China last week. He was 4-up on Zhao Tong, lost 6-5. At the Shanghai Masters invitation event earlier this season, semi-finals, 8-6 up on Ali Carter, lost 10-8. He's normally so reliable when he's out there in front. He might stumble a little, but get the job done eventually. So I think in light of that, he'll be very keen to put this to bed and
18.
to win as comfortably as possible.
$19. $24. $25.
The red to the right of the black is a little bit of a headache, a little bit of a hindrance, because it's obviously stopping the black being potted to right corner.
$30.
Black is available to left corner. It's not easy to get position on, depending on what angle he's got here.
$31.
And in the end, it was pretty comfortable, wasn't it? Can he play for that red that's blocking the black to right corner here? frame's at his mercy now.
38.
Can Mark Selby do what Steve Maguire failed to do and win the frame at the
39.
first scoring visit? Okay, Stephen was unbelievably unlucky in the first frame, what happened to him, but he has thrown away two 40-odd point leads.
$46. $47.
Selby doubly qualified for this
54.
tournament. He won the Invitation Championship League in the winter of this year, beating
55.
Kyron Wilson in the best-of-5 frame final 3-0. And he also won the Welsh Open, overcoming his opponent today, Stephen Maguire. But the fact remains, the man who had 6 spells as world number 1 currently finds himself 11th in the world rankings.
$63. $70. $71. $77. $78.
Selby here has got a golden chance to make what would be the 8th century of the tournament so far.
$85. $86.
And he's got a proud record to try and maintain. This is his 9th tournament of the season. In the previous 8, he's made at least 1 century in all of them.
94.
Yeah, this has looked inevitable ever since that opening red. I just say the table was a really nice situation. Excellent break from Mark Selby. I say the first 2 frames were hard fought, but that has given them the confidence, that 2-0 lead, to just go into full flow here.
102.
Beautiful break.
$108.
And one of those breaks that were
110.
very common from Selby when he was at the peak of his powers, when he got in and he was playing well, especially during that period of 4 years when he was world number 1 unbroken. Being in a position like this, it was almost inevitable he was going to take full advantage.
$117. 122. Mark Selby, 122.
No total clearance, but excellence. Could it be Whitewash Wednesday at the Champion of Champions? We'll find out after the break. Beaten some fine players this season, but if he came back from 3-0 down to overcome Mark Selby in this one, maybe that would be the largest feather in his cap. That has been the failing, Stephen.
Yeah, we played a completely random break-off there. Put the cue ball very close to the green and played it plain ball. It was a completely different way of playing the break-off. I mean, well, it hasn't worked. Although this length of pot, Mark Selby has not excelled this afternoon. Until now, he's got the confidence of being 3-0 ahead and having just made that century.
1.
As he finished on a red here. It's always handy when you play a shot and you think you've got a tricky red and then you're left an unmissable plant.
tall, slender Mark Selby. He's got good reach, and that really helped with that particular shot. But still an awful lot of work to do to develop this into a frame and match winning chance.
Yeah, the red to the right and just above the black. That's the one he's on to right corner. I'm not sure if he can play that without the cue ball touching the black, because that would obviously interfere with the positional side of the shot. May have to play a cannon on the black here. Wow.
10.
That was a bonus. The lower of the two reds went and was able to play position nicely back up the table. Great shot, actually. Get perfect on the blue. This could be the beginning of the end of this match. Just the way he's cueing now.
$15. 16.
Selby has beaten Maguire 11 times, but never via whitewash.
23.
Largest margin of victory before potentially this. 5-1 quarter-final of the China Open in 2017.
24.
To be fair, Selby doesn't whitewash a lot of players, really. It's not often you see him completely overrun his opponent. It certainly looks like doing that here. And for people that sometimes say, oh, I don't like watching Selby, he's too slow. His average shot time is at 21 seconds. He only really plays that way when he gets bogged down in scrappy matches, or he feels like maybe he has to change the pace of the game to win. As we know, he wins.
30.
He can really win with his B and C games, but when he's at the table like this, he's quick,
31.
if anything.
Yeah, very simplistic to describe Selby as a grinder.
38.
Sometimes he is, when necessity dictates. But he can also be as fluent as the next man.
$39.
On two previous occasions in matches against Maguire, Selby has made 3 centuries.
Yeah, he's one of my favourite players to watch. Mark Selby really is. He's an absolute
46.
genius when it comes to the tactical side. And as I say, technically, he's pretty much perfect.
Mark Selby,
As usual,
46.
when I say that, he comes up short and misses an easy red into the middle.
It all seems so bleak now, but if Maguire could win this frame from nowhere, and then the next, suddenly the mountain of pressure would shift onto the shoulders of Mark Selby. Especially, as I mentioned, given that he's lost several matches of late from in front.
One.
The kiss sums up his day. So does the expression.
Yeah, in a way, he was obviously fortunate to have been left that easy plan. And yeah, I suppose any cannon on the blue, you would expect to have some sort of pot on the blue. He's not had that nice kiss, so not an easy shot here to even just to pot the green, but also to get position on the next red.
Four. Stephen Maguire, 4.
Selby's flick off the blue, much more advantageous.
That was a horrible shot because he knew the cue ball was careering into the other balls, but he's had his sort of first real bit of good fortune this afternoon. Steve Maguire has got away with that one. He's not left anything that Mark Selby will be having a go at. That could easily have been the end of the match there.
So Selby with a 42-point lead. not shutting up shop, that would be counterproductive, but certainly trying to take out a few insurance policies, get some balls awkward.
That's the genius of Selby, though. That just looked like such a nothing shot he just played. But it really is very clever. A lot of it goes over my head, Phil. I'm not frightened to admit.
Yeah, same here, Stephen. I was making this point earlier on watching Mark Williams. I suppose I'm a literal thinker, and I really admire lateral thinkers. That's what these master tacticians are. Selby and Williams fall into that same category, and of course, they could be going head-to-head in the group final a little later.
The red that's closest to the black, he's looking at a possible pot to the right corner. But at this time, with the lead he's got, he's thinking about everything here. He's definitely taking it on because he's walked up the table to have a look at the potting point on the red. Nowhere near the pot. He's left a red to right corner for Steve Maguire, but not easy at all. And he knows every mistake he makes now could be his last in this match.
One.
That was essentially do or die, so a gutsy effort.
Not sure if he's got the angle to move the red off the right cushion here. Doesn't look like it. Well, maybe he has got enough angle. Yep, he has. He can't believe he's missed the red. A wry smile. Okay, no problem, he's still in a colour, but he can't believe he missed the cannon there. It was literally a ball width to get that cue ball in and out of there.
Well. $13.
Well, I can only assume that was another attempt to move that red off the right cushion there. A long way away. And that was...
Stephen Maguire,
the
13.
way he played it, kind of resigned to defeat.
One.
less than a handful of pots away from progress. But the way the table is, that's a tough task.
I think this red is on to left middle. It needs to get pretty close to it to make it unmissable. Cue ball's just run a couple of inches too far.
7.
These middles pockets, to me, seem to be cut a little bit different to the normal tables they use. So I think this pot is a little bit easier than it might have been.
8.
Pink will put them 43 ahead, 43 on. Played that with a lot of left-hand side to try and get down to this red. He's not on it, but if the red's touching the cushion, I'd say this was long odds on to go in the pocket. Just off. These pockets have been letting these go in this week. Yep.
15.
Very, very solid performance from Mark Selby. You'd have to say first two frames, as we said, he was 40 odd points behind in both of them, but
Brown ball.
he's dominated since then.
Mark Selby 15, frame and a match.
It was an unproductive day at the office for Stephen Maguire. But what an afternoon for two wonderful snooker players called Mark Williams and now Selby. They'll go head-to-head tonight, and we cannot wait.
England with one goal in mind. That's the kind of magic that Thomas Tuchel craves. There was never any doubt. England are marching towards the World Cup once again. It's another professional performance from the Three Lions. England are untouchable. Group K conquered. England seal a place at the World Cup with 2 qualifiers to spare.
England are in action this week with a double-header of World Cup qualifiers. Thomas Tuchel's side face Serbia tomorrow, looking to maintain their perfect record. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock on ITV1 and STV. And on Sunday, the Three Lions travel to face Albania in their final group match. You can catch that from 4 o'clock on ITV1 and STV. We'll also be showing 5-time World Cup winners Brazil's 2 upcoming friendlies. First up on Saturday, they face Senegal at the Emirates Stadium in London. That's live from 3:45 on ITV4. And next Tuesday, the South American star-studded squad play Tunisia. That's coming up at 7:15 here on ITV4. As we've just seen, Mark Selby is into tonight's group final against Mark Williams after an impressive 4-0 victory over Stephen Maguire. 92% pot success, a canny century in there, and what else but, of course, some solid safety. Let's hear from the jester now. He's with Rob.
Mark, a very comprehensive win. I mean, he started well and then was unlucky to pot that yellow with the red, but once you got in, you were fantastic today.
Yeah, I felt good out there, you know. I felt like I was going to score when I got my chances. As you say, the first frame sort of sometimes in a best of 7 sets the tone for the match, and Stephen was unfortunate knocking the yellow in. If you don't knock that in, he makes a 1 visit himself, and, you know, it could be a totally different scoreline.
Third frame, though, fabulous long red, wonderful century. That was quality.
Yeah, I felt like I hit the ball quite well in patches, quite pleasing. I feel like I'm doing that on the practice table, so it's nice to sort of have that tempo and be hitting the ball out there like I'm on the practice table for a change.
Best you've felt so far this season?
Up there, yeah, up there. I mean, obviously I've still got another match to play tonight, so if I don't get through tonight, then that result counts for nothing really. But, you know, I'll go out there and I'll try my best again tonight, and hopefully if I feel like that and play like that, I'll have a chance.
And what an occasion it'll be, you and Willow renewing a rivalry that's lasted, 25 plus years. It'll be a cracker tonight.
Yeah, you know, I've got so much respect for him as a player. He's like one of the all-time greats, you know, and every time we've played, we've always had a decent game, so I'm sure tonight will be no different.
Good luck tonight. Well done this afternoon.
Thank you, Rob.
Well, Ken and Alan enjoying this one. Ken, great to see Mark feeling so good, enjoyed this afternoon and playing some great snooker. What did you make of it?
Yeah, he played some really good stuff. You know, it was a lovely century. And once he won that sort of first frame, which sort of really told a story of the match, because had Steve Maguire won it, it would have been a different complexion on it. But he took his chance when he needed to, and as the match went on, he got better and better. He's such a difficult player to play. You know, he's got a great tactical nous, and when he's scoring like he did in that third frame, a lovely 122, then, you know, it's very, very hard to play against.
He scored heavy this afternoon, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, the ton, as Ken rightly says, was the standout moment, but there were lots of good stuff. After what we're going to show you in frame 1 here, Rob touched on it in the chat with Mark, and Steve Maguire's really unlucky here. 44 to the good. He knows nothing about that yellow. No one could. You couldn't foresee that. And it goes. Mark doesn't win the frame in 1 hit. I can understand just as well that wasn't frame 3, actually, that On Fire wasn't getting on his own case, but he had just cause there because Mark then did the business, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, it was very unfortunate, that yellow going in. If the yellow doesn't go in, he wins the frame. There's no doubt about that. But Mark Selby came back and he won it in a couple of visits, and then he started to get into his stride, didn't he? The confidence you could see started to ooze a little bit more.
Yeah, 40 odd behind in the first, 40 odd behind in the second, and that was a lovely little shot just to button down those 3 easy reds in the middle of the table. Then he gets his chance, and that was a ball striking that he's been searching for actually of late. This was the standout shot of the match. Bolt straight, in it goes, didn't touch the sides, made, what was it, 1-2-2 off the back of it, Ken?
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and they're the type of shots that give you great confidence. Here's another great one off around the angles, back up to the bulk area. Yeah, and he's just as he sometimes he sort of Mark Selby, he doesn't have enough faith in himself, does he? You know, he doesn't have enough belief. He sort of doubts himself. But when he's scoring like that sort of gives you that little bit of optimism, bit of confidence.
Yeah, that yellow was lovely as well. It sets up the chance. By now, I think Stephen's race is just about run, and that red paid to Maguire's chances.
Yeah, I was looking at his match stats, 92% pot success, of course, that was reflected in the scores, but 90% safety success. Yeah. You know, so when he realised he wasn't getting a chance to score, he was giving nothing to Stephen Maguire.
We must remember, though, that's only level par for Mark Selby. You know, he's that good, as Ken knows all too well as well. It's going to be some contest tonight, I'll tell you that, you know.
A word on Stephen Maguire, Ken, because he went deep into the international in China. Yeah. He flew back. It's a long way from Nanjing. I saw him before the match this afternoon, and I mean, he looked tired. It didn't affect Tsingtao yesterday so much, but you can see that it does take it out of you, especially you know, the sort of more experienced players.
Absolutely, yeah, and of course the age factor as well. The different age between himself and
I was trying to be nice there. The more experienced, I was trying to say.
Well, yeah, it does take a lot out of you. You know, they're travelling a lot. They're going to Riyadh next week, so the calendar is pretty full on. And when you run deep in tournaments, it takes you a few days to to get over it. You know, all the stats suggest that, you know, he was a very well below par performance from Steve Maguire, and maybe Nanjing had something to do with that.
Think about Mark Williams. He hasn't played competitively for a month. You time your run a lot, you know, especially, you know, there's no spring chicken anymore, a lot of these guys. There is a lot of travelling. But, you know, guys like Mark Selby, and that, I think they will take the odd tournament out now, you know, getting on a little bit, and that keeps the game ticking along.
Great to see a lovely reception for Mark Selby here. Of course you would, it's his hometown. Yeah. That can affect a player as well, can't it? He gets a little bit of a lift. He wants to put in a great performance in front of the home crowd.
I think so, and I think he'll also be not a revenge mission tonight. A couple of years ago, our British Open final was a classic that Willow won 10-7, so it's a rematch of that. So he'll want a wee bit of revenge tonight, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm really looking forward to tonight. I think it's a classic matchup of two greats of the game, without a shadow of a doubt, that are so good and so strong in every facet of the game. So it's it's a battle to look forward to.
Before we talk too much about tonight, because we've plenty of time to do that, we're going to have a little word with Mark Williams, because it was a similar scoreline in their match this afternoon with Alfie Burden. A whitewash for Mark Williams. He looked in cracking form against Alfie 4-0 there. So let's hear what Mark had to say afterwards with Rob.
Mark, I know you've got the utmost respect for Mark Selby's game, and you've had some incredible finals over the years. German Masters, Shanghai, China Open. You've had some absolute epics. And you've been going toe-to-toe for 26 years.
Yeah, a long time. You know, he's one of the toughest match players ever, and he's up there with John Higgins. You know, it doesn't really matter how well he plays. It's always tough to beat him, whether he can't pot a 20 break, whether he's knocking hundreds every frame. He's just so tough to beat. However he plays, he's probably one of the rare people that, you know, he can win tournaments with his B&C game, which not many other people can do that. And I think that's his biggest attribute, I think, being able to not just win matches, but win comps not playing well.
And that's a huge compliment coming from the likes of you.
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, you know, John Higgins has done it as well. Through his time, I've sort of done it a couple of times, but I think he's the master of it. Yeah, I don't think you can give him any more bigger compliment than that, really. I mean, everyone can win a tournament when they're playing well, but there's only a handful that can win when they're not playing well, and he's certainly one of them.
It's interesting, Mark Williams, you know, he looked in great form. He never sort of says he's playing well himself, does he? He always says, well, you know, I'm going to try and sneak a tournament here and there. Not really practicing. I've been on the golf course, can't see very well. listen, he keeps winning snooker matches.
He keeps winning, yeah. I mean, he's full of that self-deprecation, isn't he? But at the end of the day, he's still one of the top players in the business, still producing wonderful snooker. He's in the top 4 in the world. He's already got a tournament under his belt this season, and he's playing beautiful snooker again today. Okay, Alfie will be disappointed in himself. He didn't put up much of a show, but Mark Williams, he's still got to go out and pot the balls, and he did that beautifully today.
Still probably for me the most clever player that's ever played this game. Mark Selby's obviously up there. But you watch the shot selection today against an unheralded opponent. Let's be fair and honest about it. But he picked and he chose his shots today, I thought, to perfection. Even there, once he gets his eye in and he gets that little technical thing that he's been working on these last 4 or 5 years, and then he can start expressing himself like he did towards the end of it. It was an all-round amazing performance today.
And it's not so much even just the performance on the table, it's his desire to win as well. And while he might say, well, yeah, I might sneak the odd tournament here and there, he's a competitor, and once he gets down to the table, he likes to win, and he's got very good at it over the years. Interesting to hear Judd Trump the other night say, listen, these fellas could carry on until they're 60. Well, why shouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. If they're producing the great snooker that they are, why not? And the thing about, sport is that you should never really lose that competitive spirit. And the likes of himself, Higgins, and Ronnie O'Sullivan as well, they still have that competitive spirit. They still want to practice. They still want to compete. They still want to play in these big events. And nothing thrills them more than playing on the TV against the big players as well.
Well, the one thing we do know about tonight's final is somebody called Mark will go through into the semi-final. It's been Whitewash Wednesday. With these two players, the quality of these two players, we're not going to see a whitewash tonight, Al, are we?
No chance. That's just not going to happen. I think Mark Williams is playing the better of the two, I would say. I think Mark's... Selby, that is still searching a little bit, but that red that he knocked in the 2 pocket, the dead straight when killing the cue ball stone dead as a massive wasp. Sorry, we're buzzing in here.
Can I just say, it's a blooming good job Stephen Henry's not here, because he'd have ran for the door.
He would have gone through the window.
He'd have been out. He'd have gone.
It was about that size.
It was large.
Yeah, getting back to I think Mark Williams will start favourite for me tonight. I just think he's playing a wee bit better. But
yeah, I think so. But it's going to be, very fiercely fought a match. Match play. 2 match play players that are of the highest quality and some of the best that we've ever seen. I think it'll be a really tight struggle.
It's their 28th meeting, so these guys know each other incredibly well. It's 14 Selby, 13 Williams, and the last time they played was here on ITV in the British Open quarterfinals. Selby won it then.
Yes, he did. The famous British Open final they had as well, 10-7. That was my kind of snooker match, these two. These are the guys I love to watch playing. Can't wait.
Great stuff. Well, just a reminder then, we are back here for this group final here at the Champion of Champions in Leicester. It's Mark Williams against Mark Selby, 6:45. You want to be here for that one. We're hoping that the guys are here. We hope the wasp goes off and never comes back. We'll see you back here very soon. Bye for now.